Hello, everyone. Again, it is April Baldwin, a senior history major from Birmingham, Alabama, and also a student in this year's Social Work 300 Spring 15 class. I am here to talk about the general social survey that we had to complete for the Social Work 300 curriculum. Pretty much, this is a survey that tests the attitudes of different Americans on various topics. How they feel about the Bible, how they feel about homosexuality, how they feel about owning a gun, how they feel about education. A lot of different questions are posed in this type of survey. And it's just to kind of get a general see or know-how on how social changes come about and where trends in American thought kind of lie. So each of the students in the Social Work 300 class was given variables to test and just kind of compare throughout. My original independent variable was going to be owns a gun. Of course, talking about the Americans that own guns. My dependent variable was the Bible and attitudes that people had towards the Bible. And my control variable was sex, which just meaning the gender of the participant in the survey. However, my independent variable did not come up in the code book or in the data file that I downloaded, so I had to change it. I chose homosexuality, and I actually kind of changed everything around a bit. So now my independent variable was the Bible and people's attitudes towards the Bible. And then my dependent variable was how they felt about homosexuality. And then I still use sex as the controlling variable. So let me just explain what the code for each variable is going to be. For the Bible, there were pretty much 3 options that I used. There are a little bit more that are explained in the code, but I only really kind of analyzed three of the reasons that they gave here. So people's attitudes of the Bible, and this is what the question was, is which of these statements comes closest to describing your feelings about the Bible? So the answer, first response was, the Bible is the actual word of God and is to be taken literally word for word. The second response could have been, the Bible is the inspired word of God and not everything in it should be taken literally word for word. Or 3, the Bible is an ancient book of fables, legends, history, and moral precepts recorded by man. And a lot of these, all 3 of these sentiments I've heard just from talking to other people, from older people, from talking to people my age, just about how they feel about the Bible and what it is, what it represents, and all that good stuff. But that is what the Bible is coded for. And then for homosexuality, let's see what that question was. And let's see. Getting there. Okay. What about sexual relations between 2 adults of the same sex do you think is okay? Do you think it is always wrong? Almost always wrong only sometimes, or not wrong at all? And those are pretty much the responses that I used. The main ones that I really kind of focused on were always wrong, almost always wrong, sometimes wrong, and not wrong at all. And those are just kind of, just a little bit about the variables. And then, of course, with sex, there's male and female. So here is my poster. I do not have a large printed version, so I'm going to work with this. This is my HP Split 2, and this baby will be helping me out to explain my poster. So as you can see, this is my information, tilted that way a little bit so you can see. And pretty much what this poster explains is how I got about using the software of SPSS to analyze the data, what my variables were, and pretty much the findings came out to be 4. I'm going to kind of turn it this way. Okay, make sure you can still see. There we go. So when it came to analyzing this data, I found an interesting trend when it came to people who felt that the Bible was absolute word of God and that it should be followed literally. They were the group that was more opposed to homosexuality or felt that it was always wrong. And the interesting part is that a higher percentage of women found that homosexuality was wrong in this same category, which I find kind of interesting, seeing as a lot of men have that kind of homophobia kind of sort of, especially in the Black community. It's kind of very interesting that a high percentage of women actually felt more strongly about against homosexuality than others. And another interesting trend, but kind of what I thought would happen, was that those who felt that the Bible was just a book written by men are more open to homosexuality, and that's in both men and women. I think there might have been a greater percentage of men who actually thought that homosexuality, there was nothing wrong with it at all. And let me make sure those numbers. Let's see, for the first thing that the first number that I gave you, or the first kind of scenario, let's see, 34% of men thought, it was 34% of men that thought that homosexuality was absolutely wrong when they felt that the Bible was the absolute word of God. And then there was a 42% of women in that same group. Let's see. Now, when it came to this, no, it is still women. In the opposite way, the people who do not believe that the Bible is the word of God and they believe that it's just a book. Let's see, it's 20% of women think that there's nothing wrong with homosexuality, and only 11% of those same women feel that homosexuality is always wrong. For men in the same category, about 24.6% of them think that nothing's wrong with homosexuality, and 9.2% think that homosexuality is always wrong in that instance. And so here are my graphs and charts, if you scroll up that way. So I have my pie chart, which pretty much just represents the, the demographics, just showing the percentage of women that responded. This one, my bar graph, and its corresponding table right there. Those are just to show the numbers and percentages of people who felt the attitudes towards the Bible. There was a greater percentage of people who felt that the Bible was the inspired word of God, which I kind of found interesting. And those people, when it came to how they felt about homosexuality, really were kind of in the middle. The numbers at least were a lot closer for them between who thought it was always wrong and who thought it was just, there was nothing wrong with it at all. So that was kind of interesting. It's also, to me, very interesting that a lot of people think that the Bible is the inspired word, but not always absolute, which I found very interesting, especially with the sentiments of a lot of people that I've just heard around. But pretty much that is my general social survey report, and I hope that you enjoyed and it was educational and fun. Bye.